let's take it from the top here. Recently, you had a milestone in your family. Your brother Luke played 1,000 games in the National Hockey League, and with the crazy schedules, I can't imagine you were able to celebrate with him. Were you?
I was. I was. Yeah, I made it to Nashville that night after a game, so surprised him, and yeah, he didn't expect it at all, and just kind of worked out where we played at 6 o'clock, and they had a 1 o'clock game, so huge milestone for him. Super proud, super pumped about his milestone achievement. I think it was just over 700 games where he got sent down to the minors and battled his way back, and he's still playing. So super proud of him.
Brayden, the logistics behind that, like when did you know you were going to do that? Get the PJ going, man.
Kind of a while ago. Family friends helped out, so I won't say their names or whatever else, but definitely good, generous people that were able to get me there and surprise Luke.
So Brayden, being as Luke is crossed that milestone, you're 50 some games behind him. Do you start to think about your night and getting to that milestone? And did you think that was going to happen in your career? Did it happen quicker than you thought, or has it been a long way coming? What do you think about your own milestone coming up soon?
To be honest, I don't like talking about it or really thinking about it. Just take it a game at a time and go from there. But just with me and Luke, we're obviously very fortunate to play in the league as long as we have, and cross paths with so many good teammates and made so many friendships and memories and stuff like that. So obviously it's pretty special for us to still be going, and we love it. We love going on the rink. We love trying to get better day by day and just kind of be around the teammates. It's the best part about playing.
I hope you just set the standard though. Like if you're showing up for 1,000 for him, he's got to come to yours. No,
it just lined up perfect. Like I said, I think they played at 1. Party started a little bit later. We were at 6, and like I said, I surprised. I was in and out. We had an off day the next day. I was back the next morning, so it was just like I said, very generous of the family that got me there, and I was able to celebrate with them.
So you're going to be coming up here playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs, coached by Craig Berube right now. Obviously, the new coach for that team that you have a lot of experience with, winning a Stanley Cup in St. Louis with him. What do you think that team's going through right now as Chief tries to get his DNA and fingerprints on that roster?
Yeah, I would say just, kind of demanding, and guys are probably getting a grasp of what he's looking for. It's, kind of black and white, and he wants guys to play a certain way. He's not going to take the sticks out of their top players' hands, that's for sure. But he definitely wants an identity, and he wants the top guys to play a certain way. When that happens, everyone else follows. So, that's kind of the way he coaches, and I think guys respect it.
I was just going to ask one last question about your brother, because I think it's really cool. I was watching the highlights last week, and you got 2 brothers on your team, the Joseph brothers, right? Reunited this summer, Pierre-Olivier and Matthew, and they combined to score a goal. Like, how cool was that earlier in your career, Brayden, to play with your brother in Philadelphia?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's, obviously Jay was there for the time that we were in Philadelphia together, and just, you go through some ups and downs together and driving to the rink every day together, and the dinners on the road, and just kind of being around the bus and the rink with each other. It's, you're living your dream to play in the NHL, and then you got your brother along for the ride. It's pretty special. And I talked to the Joseph brothers and said it's one of the best times you ever have playing hockey or in your life. So you got to enjoy it. But I always felt it was a little weird. It's like when you're watching other teammates, you feel like you're just, they're your other teammates, but when your brother's on the ice, you're almost like hoping that he makes a good play, or you watch him a little bit more closely. So I don't know if they're experiencing the same thing, but I know me and Luke did.
I'm just curious. I've told the story on this pod a couple times where me and my brother were in an inter-squad game in junior before we played as teammates, and we got in basically a 2-hand slash fest that just wouldn't end in center ice. I'm wondering, in your travels in the league, playing against Luke, have you ever come up against him, had to hit him, cross paths in any way that could have led to a funny story?
Well, I guess now that we're bringing it up, yeah, I was doing I broke some ribs. I broke 5 ribs. It was 2 or 3 years ago, and this story's kind of been out in the media or whatever. But I was playing in Vancouver, and there was a little scrum on the wall. I think I was on the power play. He was PKing. He kind of gives a shot on the pants, and I look at him, and then all of a sudden he gives me another one. But he tried to hit me on the pants again. He was just and he broke my ribs.
Oh,
What?
Oh yeah, he broke my lower rib, and after the game, I'm like, I was like wincing or whatever. I got taped up, and after the game, he was looking for me, and I was in the Vancouver Canucks X-ray room, and he asked my trainer, he's like, "Where's Brayden?" He's like, "Oh, he's actually in your X-ray room." You want to go? He's like, "No way." So he came out. He felt bad. He must have texted me 30 times apologizing after. But yeah, so Luke broke my rib one time.
Oh wow, the last thing you probably wanted to do, as I know your guys' relationship, but I haven't heard that before. That is too bloody funny. It's big boy going at you right now. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
most of
yeah,
those
yeah.
guys have to deal with.
He's giving me a gentle cross check before he got me perfect and just broke my ribs. So I guess it's 1-0 him, and I just try and stay away from him now.
you never know though. Like you're right, because I think you look at the divisional matchup too. Like the Preds are off to a tough start. They're in your division. Like you guys are going to clash at some point in time, you would think.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, if you look at our division now, it's like everyone's 5-1 or 5-0 or whatever it may be, and then the two teams that are supposed to be at the top are at the bottom. So it's going to be a tight division all the way to the end. And when you play in the Central, even with Utah, they got life this year too. With their young players are playing well, and obviously happy to be in Utah, and they got that energy behind them too. So like I said, our division is going to be tough this year.
Yeah, Brayden, you've been the captain of your hockey club there for just over a year now. Obviously, big news in Toronto with John Tavares passing the captaincy on to Austin Matthews. You played a certain way, and a lot of people would say you play the right way. You played hard. You had leadership qualities already. But is there anything that you thought you needed to do differently after receiving that C, or was it just business as usual for you?
There's definitely a lot of learning that comes with it. Put it that way. You don't try and change your game or change your personality. Obviously, you just try and be who you are. And there's some problems that come up and stuff like that along the way. And your job isn't to fix them all. It's just try and lead the guys on the ice, and hopefully everything else follows. So I'm lucky. I got some good leaders around me with Robert Thomas and Falk and Pranko, and then you had guys like Suter that comes into the league that's played 1,450 games, and Nick Leddy's put 1,000. So we have a bunch of guys in our locker room that are leading from all angles for sure.
How long did it take you to feel comfortable in that role?
I mean, you're comfortable right at the beginning. It's always that's not a matter of if you're comfortable or if you're not. I definitely felt comfortable. I think it's a learning thing. You got to learn from experience, and that's kind of how everything goes in life. And it's no different being the captain. There's certain things that pop up throughout the year, or different conversations that you have to have, whether it's with teammates or coaches or GMs but it's I love it. It's a great experience, and you definitely learn a lot.
Were you surprised this summer to see Tavares pass that captaincy on to Austin Matthews as opposed to playing out the remainder 1 year of his contract with the C on his sweater?
Well, I guess when they come to you and say that, it's going to be passed on, and you know what? I've known John for a long time. He's a great guy, and obviously he handled it the right way, and he wasn't sour about it, and didn't want to make a big thing in his locker room, and obviously Austin, he's perfect for the job too. So I'm sure it's a letter on a sweater, but I'm sure they're doing it together and bouncing ideas off each other, and I'm sure that's where their locker rooms are right now.
I'm sure you're going to give me some bullshit stock answer here, but Craig Berube, you're playing it for the first time. How excited are the boys?
Oh yeah, we can't wait. Yeah. There's actually a little bit of buzz going around the St. Louis locker room with their media and stuff like that. They're asking questions and stuff, and I don't know. Chief was just a guy that was so liked just not by your locker room, but just by the city in general. Obviously, the first guy to lead the team to winning the Stanley Cup, and lots of fun with him around the locker room, and there's definitely a little buzz, definitely from us players already, or staff or trainers talking about it. So it's definitely one circle on the calendar, and that'll be a fun one to be a part of.
And going into Toronto and having this team being coached by Craig Berube now, what do you expect out of the Maple Leafs this week?
North-south type of game that's going to defend you hard and go to the net. And he always talks about competing and playing heavy hockey. So those are some words that he uses inside his locker room, and we expect no different.
Did it shock you at all, Brayden? So last week, I don't know if you caught this, but he decided to call a timeout up 5-2 in the third period and just snapped. He just chewed on everybody. That's probably a regular occurrence for him, no?
I don't know if it's regular occurrence, but what I like about him is he always has a pulse on things, right? So he obviously wanted to close that game out and wasn't happy the way whether they came out of the period. I obviously wasn't watching it, but I think that's definitely a quality he has as coaching. He's just having a pulse of whether it's his bench or locker room. And if he doesn't have a pulse, I find like he's always looking to his leaders on the team or players on the team to try and help find it.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.